Hello, everyone, and welcome to Counselor Feature Friday. I'm your host, Brian Urban. In these features, we hope to give you some simple tips, tidbits, and tricks to make your days easier and your patients happier. In this feature, we're going to focus on IP address filtering. This is a security feature that you have available to you that will enable you to limit access to specific staff members or students based on where they're located. Just to show you what that looks like, we're going to jump first here into administration and then straight into an area called IP addressed whitelist. It's kind of a technical term for basically saying you can identify the computers essentially that can have access to CounselEAR. Now, this may be something you ask your IT specialist to assist you with, unless you work in these areas directly. But basically, this allows you to say, hey, we only want, let's say, computers within our clinic to be able to access CounselEAR that are using our Wi-Fi, for example, to access the internet, and therefore will limit the range there. Okay. As I mentioned, you can set multiple ranges, right? So you have multiple clinics. You also can set this on a staff member by staff member basis. So you may say, okay, this limitation only applies to the students that are in our practice. For example, we want them to be able to access CounselEAR while they're in the clinic, but not while they're at home, for example. Or there can be different kind of use cases for this, but that's the idea, is you can decide. So what you do is you start off by entering your IP address range or ranges. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and put in a sample one, and then you can call the range whatever you like. And of course, you can have multiple ranges. You just do one at a time. So I'm just going to call this one test here. That'll add it to the list. And you'll see later on you can edit it. You also can remove it, right? So this is a very flexible feature. Now, once we have the IP address whitelist in place here, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the user list. This enables us to look at individual staff profiles and say, okay, for Emma, we are going to activate the IP address filtering. This is activated under the security tab, and towards the bottom you'll see the IP address filtering. Now, I should point out, if you do not have an IP address listed in that, or a range listed in that previous screen we're in, you will not see this option. So if you go into the user profile and say, where is it? You need to go into administration and whitelist first, get that in place, and then you can enact it at a user by user basis. So just by clicking save here, instantly that takes effect. So that would mean in this case that Emma would not be able to access CounselEAR beyond whatever range was set, right? So for example, for your clinic. And then you can go through any other staff members you wish and activate or deactivate the IP address filtering system. Okay, once again, this is a security feature that gives you a great deal of control as to who can access CounselEAR and where. Of course, if you have any questions about this, please let us know. Give us a call, email us, live chat with us. We are always happy to help. Thank you very much for joining us for today's Counselor Feature Friday. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.